All right. About to get started very shortly. All right. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Let me show my camera, make sure things are solid over here. Yep, because I would hate to have to start and realize that I'm muted like last time. That was embarrassing for me, honestly. All right. Let's go ahead and get things started. Oh, yes. Did somebody knock? Okay, I don't think so. Never mind then. All right. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. It is your boy ABK, and thank you for checking out another one of my weekly forex and cryptocurrency analysis. And so let's go ahead and get things started. So first and foremost, let me put that there. So first, let's go over the fundamentals. You guys know how I rock. I like looking at the news before I go into the charts because I want to see what can possibly either A, disrupt my trade, or B, where I would expect my trades to be moving very fast or very volatile. I don't care for looking at low impact news, medium impact news. No, I don't like looking at those. I only look at the high impact news. And so on Forex Factory, there are multiple sites where you can use to go get your news. Some people like using investor.com. Some people like MyFXBook. I like using Forex Factory. It's just preference, honestly, but it's basically all the same information. So Sunday, which is it's not a trading day necessarily for some parts of the world, but for us in the like in the Northern Americas and Southern Americas, we definitely this will be on a Sunday. So there's OPEC JMMC meetings, which is for oil. Monday there was AUD news at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and that's for monetary policy meeting minutes for Australian dollar. Tuesday and Wednesday, no high impact news. Thursday there is high impact Euro news. This is kind of late for Euro news, to be quite honest with you. So there's a ECB press conference and monetary policy statement. Again, this is really late for Euro news, in my opinion, because they usually are like around 2:30. That's when I would expect some Euro news. But we have flash PMI for the Euro, for Germany, for the country Germany, and that will be on Friday. So those are the high impact news for this week. A lot less news than last week. I like seeing that, right? So now let's go on ahead and go over to the charts. Let me go over to DXY. Now I'm going to start going back to how I used to do things and give a fresh chart every week. I like that idea because that's how I started trading. That's how it really is good to do. Fresh week, fresh chart setup, right? Every week get a new chart. I did originally want it to be every month I did a new chart, but I'm just like, if you do it every week, you'll know what the charts are doing more than if you do it every month. Although I know it, but it's better for everybody else to follow suit when it comes to trying to have a fresh chart every week if you are going to do a weekly analysis like this. That's so. And another thing is that what did I want to say? Another thing is that, like, if you want to see what I was talking about last week, then you can go ahead and look at it last week. But coming into the new week, unless I currently have trades running, then I'm just gonna shift my focus back onto like the regular, like, just have a clean chart and talk about that instead. So first and foremost, weekly time frame closed with a bullish candle. It's not a bullish engulfing candle, but it did happen to close over this weekly 50 EMA, which it had previously failed to break over here. So once I'm seeing that, that's kind of telling me that price might want to continue going bullish, quite honestly. Like, I'm still iffy about this. Like, ever since we took that Euro USD trade and that hit stop loss. That's when I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And same thing with UCHF, although UCHF was literally just a wick, but I'll talk about that more on the trade reviews rather than right now. Hey Carlo, how you doing, bro? So what I'm going to do is going to throw this fib out, because this is something that I've been interested in looking at. Like, okay, price can possibly drop down at this sell area. Let me go ahead and switch this over. So, like I was saying is that, well, not like I was saying, but what I wanted to see was how price was going to react in this zone, right? At this sell zone, I'm going to actually put it as a supply zone. And I really wanted to see what price was, if it was going to react nicely here. Like, so the first 2 weeks, it did exactly what I would have wanted it to do for me to get into possible trades. I liked it, but this weekly candle that I'm seeing right now, that's what's making me like, uh-oh, this might not be a trade setup that will be a good look for me, you know? So that's one thing that I wanted to point out on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, daily time frame just have a whole lot of consolidation. Just looks like price is rising over here. So just like Peyton had mentioned about this rising wedge, this probably was going to end up happening on the DXY. I don't know what the divergence is looking like on the higher time frames. I'm going to go ahead and let Peyton handle that when he does his analysis on Monday. But yeah, I still do most likely price is going to still like wiggle back up here, come back down, wiggle back up, come back down, and then end up dropping. And again, as he had mentioned, this gap that's here is non-existent on the 4-hour and lower time frames. So that gap is just whatever. It's not a gap, I guess. Like, because again, just go into the 4-hour time frame. You see that there's literally no gap happening over here. Like, literally no gap. So that's why I'm just like, okay, the gap is non-existent on the lower time frames, but on this daily time frame, it's popping up. But regardless, yeah, this is probably what I'm going to have to end up looking out for, rather than just trying to sell price right here, even if I was trying to swing it. Because overall, even though I do see this sell possibility, that's not what I'm not bearish on the DXY. I'm actually quite bullish on it. Whatever price decides to stop at, I was really looking to seeing if 90.519 was what was going to get hit for a potential, okay, now let's continue taking price to the upside. Same thing as, I'm going to set an alert here because I had one. 71% swing. Oops. I think I might have. Yeah, I turned off the camera by accident. Oh, well, no, I just want to. I need to change that so hard. My bad. It's just technical difficulties. But yeah, I was saying that either A, 90.519 is going to get hit over here, or B, from where price finally made this bullish move that actually took off, price is going to come down to like 91.135, or in that like area, that general area. Let me just put it right there. And that would be my alert at, why am I like this? At the 71% for, you know, I would just, at this point, unless this rising wedge plays out, I don't think that price is going to come down here, quite honestly. I think price is going to keep going to the upside. That's what it looks like to me, especially the way how price was acting on Thursday, Friday. It was just like, okay, this is probably most likely going to go bullish. So I'm going to set this alert as, you know, 71%. But I'm going to say that this is in the swing. It's more 71% recent daily bullish impulse move. I'm just going to call it daily impulse from here. But, I mean, the buy really started off from down here, but I'm just talking about like the real impulse, and then price is just slowly climbing to the upside. So I have those two alerts set, and let me just go into the weekly time frame and point out that there is this zone here that could literally just be an area of liquidity that price could come and first come up and grab, although there's this resistance question mark up here. Well, yeah, I would say it's a resistance because you can see that there's a wick that came down before. So where the music at? There it is. But yeah, so there's this resistance that's been holding up here. If price comes back up here, then just like how, well, I'm not gonna say just like how yesterday, like we've seen it, we know that the possibility of price to come up and just grab that liquidity and then drop after it exists. We know that that definitely exists, so I'm going to be watching for that. Especially, like that's mostly what I'm going to be watching for if this rising wedge doesn't play out. If the rising wedge plays out, then hey, maybe we won't get this push to the upside where price will come and take out these highs and then drop down low before going bullish again. So let's see what happens with the DXY, but I just wanted to talk about that a little thoroughly. Let's go on to the 1 hour time frame just to see what current price action is doing. So yeah, like right now price is just looking like it's bullish. Although from this drop, the retracement, price is indeed at an area where it can stop at. Right, it is still at this 78.6 level, and price did kind of claimed up there slowly. You know what? Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna hide that supply zone just so that we can be able to see this more clear. But yeah, price did climb up pretty decent, like pretty fast with these couple of hours right here, and then it started to go slow, a little bit more slower. But the way how just it is a good spot to look for a possible sell on these DXY pairs. No cap, it looks pretty darn good. But just the mere fact that price is still looking bullish, and the weekly and the daily don't look like price wants to drop any lower, that's what's making me not want to just hop into this. You know, I do want to see price retrace. I am not bearish on the DXY, but I do want to see price retrace down to where I have mentioned. So just I'm watching for this. I'm watching to see how price is going to open on Sunday, and to see if there's going to be a gap of any sort, or what's it gonna look like, right? But at this point in time, I am being very patient, but I am vigilant and I know that there's possibilities to try to get into a sell for the US dollar, which would make me bearish on USD XXX pairs and bullish on XXX USD pairs. All right, so that's for regular TA, but let me mark this off as well as to what I am looking for. Oops. Then if I can get price to reject there and drop down to 91.931, that would be dope. But again, I'm watching what this rising wedge, what it's really about to do. Like, because it just seems to me that price is going to come up here, then come down, keep slowly climbing up until it gets to this zone, possibly fake out, and then end up dropping. Or just come up to 93.172, then drop. Who knows? But let's see how things play out when the market opens. Going over to arbitrage. So daily time frame has been extremely bullish. Weekly time frame has been calling for the buy, so I can't be surprised. But again, what I want to see on arbitrage is what I usually want to see on it, right? I want that retracement and then the continuation to the upside. I don't want to just try to get into this buy right here, although I know that the possibility of price continuing to go bullish, especially with how the weekly candle closed, it looks very much possible. So that is the thing about the DXY right now. And even if this were to retrace on the daily, I don't think that it would call for a sell. Like it will take a couple of days for price to be even under this RSI line for it to say that, okay, yes, Daily time frame calling for a sell. 4-hour time frame is just very like sideways. It's just not my thing to trade arbitrage when the market is sideways on the higher time frames. And then on the 1-hour time frame, price it called for a buy here. It's just it doesn't look that great to me on arbitrage as well. But seeing that price is called for is calling buys on all these things except for maybe even the lower time frames are calling for buys. Yeah, everything's bullish right now, so I can't. In seeing all that, I can't say in good faith that I want to try to sell. Like personally speaking, maybe even the 5 minute, yeah, even the 5 minutes calling for a buy. I can't in me having arbitrage as my edge. I can't say that this is gonna go bearish right here. It looks like, just like I mentioned when I first talked about the weekly candle, it looks like price wants to keep going bullish. So we'll see what it do for us later though. Going over to here, this was a trade opportunity that I was looking at, but it was Friday, and I'm like, you know what? It's Friday. I'm not even gonna go too crazy with this. But overall, this is what I had wanted to see on. This is what I wanted to see at first. I saw that there was these equal lows. Price had stopped out, went bullish, hit that supply zone, retraced, came back, go bullish. But we're gonna talk about that all right now. So. Weekly time frame, same thing or opposite. Let me say the opposite of the DXY. We have that price has crossed under the 50 EMA, so that is a sign that price could continue going bearish. Because as we could see here, price did close under it, but then went bullish again. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but it's a possibility. And from this bullish move right here, we can still see that price is still in an area where it can potentially go bullish if it wanted to go bullish overall. I'm not bullish on EURUSD. I'm not bullish on EURUSD. I'm bullish on the DXY. However, I do know that the possibility of price still rejecting off of this zone here, it does exist, right? That's even another reason why I said that I wanted to see this go bullish, right? Or not hide, but just put it to the side real quick. That's another reason why I said that I wanted to see price go. I want to see price retrace and then go bearish for the past couple of weeks, because I do see that this demand zone is right here that price has been rejecting off of, and is still at that area where it can just come bullish real quick and then boom, continue to the downside. Wait, hold on. Yeah. So that would be what I want to see, because overall, where are you at? There you go. Overall, this is still what I want to see. Wherever, like I do want to see. Wait, hold on. I am tripping. Like wherever price is gonna stop at, like I keep saying this, wherever price really stops at, and if it's going to stop here, I need to see that retracement back up to these highs. I could be like, oh well, what about these right here, and still go a little bit higher, but it's basically the same thing. Like if the prices come back up here, I think that price is gonna keep going bullish. So overall, this is the first area, or this is the second area that I'd be looking for a swing opportunity. Although I'm kind of hoping that price doesn't even get up to 1.21245, to be quite honest, because if we're going to the daily time frame, if I'm going to where price really broke these lows and then started pushing to the downside, then I would want to get pricing at 1.20377. So I'm watching for either of those two to get hit, and then that will be my decision, like I've been saying for the past how many weeks. But from the looks of things, it looks like price is just going to keep pushing lower. And if it does, then, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to be able to get into that sell right then and there. Let me see what we have here. Does it really matter if price respect your analysis and it comes to hit your zone on Friday? Do we really look at price or times as well? So depending on what type of trader you are, that's when you have to make those decisions on your own. I personally do not care what day it is to trade. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it, right? That's me personally, but that's my style of trader. If I see a setup that I could take on a Sunday, I'm most likely going to take it. Whereas for Peyton, he says that no, he doesn't like trading on Sunday/Monday. He'd rather wait until that Tuesday where the most volatility is going to be in the market, or where the most volatility, trader participants, whatever you want to call it, that's when they appear. They usually start to appear Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's when he'll be looking for trades instead. So that's number one. And number two, what was the other part of the question you had asked? Does it really matter if price respect your analysis and it comes to hit your zone on Friday? So if price comes on and hits this zone up on here on Friday, and especially if I'm going to swing it, I don't care. Depending on what the price action is going to look like right then and there, I'm probably going to take the trade. That's just me. But if it's on a Friday, sometimes it's just better to wait it out. Like, look at gold, for instance. Gold, it hit like how we had talked about, right? Gold, it had hit that zone that we were looking for us to now look for buys on it, and it happened on a Friday. I said, hey, if it wasn't Friday, I would have gone into it, you know, because it's not a swing trade for me. It's more of an intraday trade or a day trade for me. So I'm gonna wait until when the market opens for me to get into that, right? But once we get to gold, I'll talk more about it. So I'm personally going to wait for a price to come up to 1.20377 before I try to get into a sell. But there are people who are like, hey, if price breaks below these lows, I'm going to sell it. And hey, if that's the strategy that you have back tested and it works for you, then by all means. That's why we always say there's multiple ways to make money in this market, because it doesn't have to be just cookie cutter off of one type of way you trade. It could be multiple ways how you trade. Like, for instance, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right here, back, like, maybe if I was paying attention to the market, when I see price dropping down this low and then I start to see it consolidate, maybe I'll look for a buy opportunity there, or something like that. You know. But that's just not how I trade anymore. Like, you got to back test that kind of stuff and see what works for you. But because and the reason why I probably wouldn't have taken it right now is because I did see that, yes, there is this possibility where price can go bullish and then hit the 71% fib, and then it falling to the downside, right? So that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna take that. But however, this is Peyton's style, and the way how the volume looks, it doesn't look like price wants to really continue going bearish to me, but that's based off of the volume on the 4-hour time frame. I still have a lot more to go and take a look at, but we have price making lower lows, and then it made the price action right here on the 4-hour. I can only imagine what the price action looks on the 1 hour. Price action on the 4-hour looks like, oh, this could be a retracement and then a continuation to the upside after making that stop hunt, which is why I had that setup there in the first place, right? So we had all this bearish price action based off of this volume. If I were to try to take a trade right here, I would have been like, nope, because it looks like it's going to keep falling. Price went bullish. There's not any real price action down here other than 3 white soldiers that would have told me that, okay, this could be a buy possibility for the retracement continuation. And like I said, overall, I still this is my last attempt to buy into the correction, the overall correction. Because again, I am still overall bearish on Euro USD. I do want Euro USD to sell, but I want it to correct first before it sells. I would want it to come up to, again, 1.20392 or 1.21245 before I look to sell it for a swing. not for a day trade, for a swing that I'm probably going to hold for a week, maybe even 2 weeks. You know, who knows? So that's what I'm looking out for. That's what I'm looking for on Euro USD. If my patience lets me hold a trade for 2 weeks, then I'm probably going to hold that trade for a very long time. But yeah, so like I said, from this bullish move, the retracement, price has come back down to this zone. Let me get rid of all these lines right here real quick. Hold on. Prices came down to this zone, rejected off of the 71% fib. So if I would have been looking at the market and it hit that 71%, I might be in the trade. But I'm not gonna play it like that, you know. Or even if you're not taking it from this low, let's just take it from this bullish move where price really got active. Right here, then that would be like a 78.6 entry down over here that you would have barely missed, Peyton. Dang. If you would have tried to get into that, right? But anyways, like I said, I'm still wanting to see if price is going to go bullish. I'm probably going to wait and see what the market looks like on Sunday evening before, and like Peyton and I will discuss it before we send a trade, like a trade idea or anything like that. But this definitely looks like a possibility. However, and this is the possibility that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually put this down here. Not saying that this is a buy trade that I'm getting into. I still have to see what the price action looks like, but I'm setting that up there so that I know that it's there, you know. And for those who aren't in next wave, there you go. That's your trade of the analysis. So I'm going to have that there for me, but I do know that the possibility of price just coming back up. So from this high to this low, price coming back up to like 1.18335 or 1.18380. And then continuing bearish, I know that exists. I do know that exists. That's something that I'll be watching for. And if I really do still feel if price gets there, that I still do feel like price is going to sell, I might look to hedge. And while I'm buying and my stop loss is at break even, I'll take a sell up here as well, because I would be like, okay, this is just making a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It could still fall from here. Like I said, it could definitely still make a lower low. But if it comes back up here and then drops, then I'll be looking at, okay, maybe I'll get into that lower low. But it all depends on what the price action is looking at. And right now, to me, personally speaking, I do like the possibility of price still turning around and going bullish. However, the weekly, I'm just going to repeat this one more time before I go on to arbitrage, because I'm going to start speeding up. The two pairs I usually take the longest to analyze, I've done my analysis on them, and then everything else is probably going to be the same thing. So weekly time frame looks very bearish, and the daily time frame looks not that great for a buy either. I'm not saying that it looks good for a sell. I do see this bearish engulfing candle right here, and price retraced and then dropped, but I'm still looking for that possibility of a buy, you know, like I'm just going to wait and see what happens though. And it's the same thing with arbitrage. 1 hour time frame is calling for a sell. 4 hour time frame, it called for a sell down here, which was a very ugly entry. That's another reason why I like waiting for that retracement before another sell entry or anything like that. Daily time frame, very much bearish, and the weekly time frame called for a sell how many weeks ago? But I still want that retracement. If I don't get that retracement, I can't sell this in good faith. You know, that's just me. I still want to see price retrace here for a long-term sell. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to wait and see what what Euro USD does for us. Okay, going over to AUD USD, trying to speed things up. AUD USD has just been bearish, man. I'm glad that I did not try to Well, I mean, the trade opportunity that I mentioned about from price down at 0.74336 and it going bullish, that played out, but then you would have got stopped out at break even, and then price kept falling lower, making lower lows. So that's for AUD/USD overall, guys. Though weekly time frame, very much bearish. I'm glad that we're finally seeing AUD/USD fall like this. But again, for me to get into a sell, I need to see retracements on the higher time frames. And I do, again, I think I mentioned it last week, I do see that the possibility of price coming to drop. It is at the 61.8 right now from this bullish move. It is currently at the 61.8. I do still see the possibility of price making some type of rejections at the zone. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it out. Going to draw it like this. Yeah. And then I'm going to have it, you know, just as that demand zone right there. Price could possibly stop here before going bullish, but I don't think that AUD/USD is bullish any longer. We've been selling this for my bias has been bearish on this for quite some time now, but I do need some type of retracement. I do need a retracement before I try to get into anything, whether if it's from this high, and let's just say hypothetically price stops here and it's 0.77463, or if it's from this high, or if it's from this high right here and price just retraces up to 0.76686. Whichever one of those two happen, I don't think price has stopped dropping yet. I think price might continue falling, especially off of the daily and the weekly. The way how they closed, I feel like they're going to keep dropping. Wherever price stops at, I'm waiting for that retracement first. So other than that, I don't have really much to say about AUD/USD. Weekly time frames been calling for this sell. I wanted price to come up a little higher, it never did. And again, these magenta candlesticks, once they pop up, that is pretty much like very bearish signs to me. And every other time frame, I'm pretty sure on arbitrage is bearish between the 5-minute and the weekly. 1 hour bearish, 30-minute bearish, 15-minute bearish, 5-minute bearish. Hey, even the 1 minute is bearish. Okay, the 1 minute is the only one that's bullish. But other than that, yeah, guys, like I said, not the pair or not the type of opportunity I would look for sells. But we are going to be expecting a longer term. Like, just think about it. Price has been bullish from this drop right here. Like, there's a whole lot of retracing that it could really do. Like all the way down to 0.62260, even based off of the second deviation. Yes, that is a possibility on the weekly time frame, but that's not what we're looking at right now. All right, let's go on over to UCHF. My guy UCHF. Man, this thing tried to play me like a PlayStation. Try to play me. Ooh. All right, remove drawings. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. So daily time frame. First of all, I like seeing that bearish engulfing candle right there. But let's go on to the weekly real quick. Weekly is showing better candles. It's showing better. Like for me personally, the candlesticks are showing better to me that yes, price could still potentially fall down, rather than how the weekly on EURGBP or the DXY looked, right? Daily time frame, I like seeing this bearish candle. I want that retracement for a continuation to the downside. So something like this. Wait, where is it? Something like this is what I would be watching for on UCHF, because I do want to see. Let me just actually mark up this real quick. There we go. Because overall, I do want to see price retrace back down to these lows. This is my take profit too right there. I do want to see price drop down to these lows right here. And then, or the higher low, sorry, and then continue going bullish on a daily time frame. I like the price action. Price has broken this structure right here where price had made a previous lower high, and then it made a lower low down here. Then it broke that structure. I want to see that retracement continuation to the upside. And so that, like I said, right with that move right there, with this possibility, it does look better to me than what Euro USD and the DXY look like, personally. Going over to the 4-hour time frame. I did try to get a sell opportunity right here. I thought price was going to stop and then keep going to the downside for like a B, C. Wait. Not that I'm looking at this. It would be a B, C. Then correction, yeah, I think that would be it. I'm still not. That's Peyton's jam. I've just been looking at it and paying attention to it. So, but definitely for price to drop down is what I really want to see. But based off of this this recent bearish move right here. Let me get rid of this real quick. Hide that. Off of this recent bearish move on UCHF, that's what I kind of wanted to see price retrace into before trying to sell it. It still hasn't hit the 61.8 really. Unless I drew this wrong. Yeah, it still hasn't hit that 61.8. And it still has a lot more room that it could climb up to. So that's what I'm going to be possibly watching for. Because like I said, I do still kind of see that the DXY and Euro USD, they kind of look like they want to continue going bullish a little bit. And if the DXY does go bullish a little bit more, hey, that's going to be all right for UCHF, because basically all I'm seeing right now is where price currently at. All I see is come and get all this. Come and get all this liquidity up here and then look to possibly drop. Now, that's what I want to see. I want to see UCHF continue going bearish so that it can then go bullish. I'm looking to sell only to buy. However, I do see this possibility as well. And I know Payton had talked about it. I do see the possibility of price literally just dropping down and then like stopping at 0.91424 or 0.91358 and then going and pushing to the upside. I definitely see that. That is probably what might happen, to be quite honest with you. So, because just look at this price action. You had this bearish move and then you had a bullish engulfing candle. The volume isn't that crazy, to be quite honest. The volume is not that crazy, but still the possibility of that exists. And again, all I really... Wait. 4-hour time frame. Why weren't those there? But yeah, again, all these these equal highs right here, I feel like they're going to get ran through. I feel like these equal highs are definitely going to get ran through. And before price even decides to go... before price does... Wait, hold on. What am I doing? I need that line there so that I can know that this is where price could potentially fall. And I don't know if you were watching, or Carlo, if you saw what Payton was doing on the backtesting session yesterday. I'm just gonna draw it out so that you can notice it as well. Where's templates? There you are. What does that look like to you? Just like, again, like I said, from what he was talking about with the with what he was backtesting yesterday, what does that look like to you? So that's why I said that this move, it definitely is a possibility. But overall, I'm looking at this over here that happened on the left more than right there. So let me go ahead, have that drawn out. And I'm going to be looking at up here for a opportunity as well. Let me check this chat. And then to the downside, yeah, I feel you on that definitely. But man, I cannot ignore this. I cannot ignore this. That's just like me trying to ignore what happened over here. I cannot ignore it. And you know, that's we're gonna talk about that on the we're gonna dive deeper into why I should not have ignored this on the weekly review. So that's something that we'll talk about later on today. But yeah, I would want to see these highs get ran through, price stop out, then continue to the downside. Arbitrage weekly time frame has been calling for the buy. It's never said, "Oh, get out," but I still wanted to see a retracement regardless. Like same thing with the technical analysis. I want to see that retracement before I look to buy UCHF on the weekly. Daily time frame, it's holding at this upper danger zone, so that's something that I am really gonna pay attention to, because I do use this upper danger zone and lower danger zone as support and resistance. So I'm gonna be watching what it does here, but again, I just feel like that those equal highs are gonna get ran through. That's what I really feel. Oh, and then would you look at that 4-hour time frame called for a buy, but I still need that retracement to the RSI line. I still need that retracement regardless, even if it's gonna retrace down here or it's gonna retrace back down to this the manipulation right there. I still got to see a retracement regardless before I get into a buy. And the 1-hour time frame looks like it could potentially sell off, but I'd rather see this RSI line up in the upper danger zone. So yeah, I want to see if it's going to sell. I want to see price first grab those equal highs and then drop. So let me get rid of this. Oh, I did not mean to remove it. I wanted to just hide it so that the chart is a little bit more clear. So yeah, overall, I still want to see price retrace up to 0.92150 and then fall. And then I'll look for buys at that level. Or I'll look for buys here depending on what the price action looks like on 0.91429. So that's what I'm seeing on UCHF. Let me go ahead and check this out. I'm more likely to grab that liquidity and fall. Yeah, that's definitely the play that I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for sure. After this, yeah, I gotta look for that. S&P. Well. Look what finally decided to fall, man. But Payton's been talking about this. But again, what do we usually say when the S&Ps, when they make a move like this? It's better off. Like, although I don't like how bullish it is. It's just extremely bullish. And the weekly is not even a bearish engulfing. So that's why I'm just like, okay, it fell. That's cool. But it just looks like it's going to buy to me. Like, from this previous move, it just looks like it's in an area where it's going to buy, quite honestly. Like, I do see this bearish engulfing candle, and I love that wick to the upside. But I can't trust these U.S. indices like that because they just been nothing but bullish. And if you try to sell it for a long time, you might get wrecked. It's better off for you to try to buy it for a long time rather than for you to sell it for a long time. So placing that buy box there. I'm not trading this, quite honestly, especially with how the, well, if I go on the 1 hour time frame, it probably got down there very, very slowly. Yeah, it took it a couple of days for it to get down here. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for buys on UCHF down here. I don't think that it's gonna break these lows. I'd rather try to get in at 4322.1, and this is probably the clearest that I've seen a trade idea on the S&Ps ever since the last one I gave. Which was, I don't even know what the last setup I gave was. I just remember I talked about it and said it looks like it's playing out, and it did. So, yeah, for that. But I'm not gonna, again, I personally am not going to touch these. There's so much better opportunities, and there's so much better risk that I could place rather than on this. But I do see the possibility here at 4321 or 4322 for that buy, and even, hey, possibly to 44333 or 4457. Like, these things have been bullish, and they are not making sense to so yeah, you can play that. Oh yeah, it was off of the small move that I said that, yeah, that looks good. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me not delete that. Let me show what happened. Price ended up coming to 78.6 down here at 34737. Ended up going to these equal highs, but then price tanked. Said nah. The weekly on this looks pretty damn interesting because when we look at it close up, we have equal highs that just got tapped with these wicks. That is not going to be a sign to tell me that, oh, this looks like price is going to keep going bullish. I mean, it's going to start to fall. That is not what this is to me at all. Because the candlesticks that came before it and then this 1 week, no thank you. I'm not going to just base my, I'm going to look for sales off of 1 week of price action. Like, you still got to look at the other weeks as well. And those other weeks look like price is going to keep going bullish, quite honestly. It's probably the same thing as with UCHF, but this is the thing about the US 30 is that it's not even there. It's nowhere near there yet, 34,400. So with me seeing this makes me a little bit more cautious about S&P, but I do still want to see how they play out. Again, I'm not trading the US indices. I'm just showing what I'm seeing on them. I'm probably going to end up taking them on my watch list eventually because the way how things have been, it's just not for me. I just don't like how it's just super bullish all the time. I'd rather just look at something else instead. But hey, let's see what happens. This is also another possibility. It could come down over to 34,400. That's where I would like to see it come down to. I'm not setting an alert. I'm just putting it there so that I know that that's what I was paper trading. But I do also see that price can stop here, or if it really is from this bullish move, it can stop up here. You know, there's different possibilities, but what I would rather see at this point is price come down to 34,400 and then go bullish. See what the Nasdaq's damage looks like. I'll look at arbitrage right after, don't worry. I just wanted to see what these were looking like on technical analysis. Same thing, weekly time frame. That's a very red candle, but again, the price action the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. Yeah, that's interesting to me. Bearish engulfing. So this is better because now I'm seeing some type of this could be a potential evening star. You have a shooting star candle, and then a bearish candle, and then another bearish candle. That's cool. That's lovely for me to see. Peyton had talked about a sell opportunity for, I think, when price came up to this high. It hit his alert, and then it tanked. That would have been a nice trade. But again, from this most recent bullish move, price can literally reject right here and then continue going bullish. So out of the four, well, even if you want to take it to down over at this low, it's at the 61.8. So NASDAQ and S&Ps, to me, they look like they're at good spots to buy, while the US 30 still has a little bit more room to push to the downside. So choose one and use risk management, trade it wisely. I don't personally, I'm not personally going to trade them, but I see the possibility for them to go bullish. It's just, they're just way overextended for me, and it's not comfortable. I won't be comfortable in the trade. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. Well. You know what? I think USDMXN, I'm not going to talk about it that much at all because not a lot of people trade it to begin with. But I've been saying that I want price to go bearish or bullish from this zone since like last week or something like that. Or like the past 2 weeks. Price is still in the zone, so I'm still going to wait and I'm still not going to trade it. Gold. Like that's literally my mic drop. Let's take a look at gold. Since a lot of people were talking about this, I'm just going to talk about what I had written before. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to talk about it and just do a new chart up. Why not? So I had mentioned the head and shoulders pattern right here on gold. Ended up going a little higher, which is usually expected. And then price ended up dropping, retracing, continued dropping. So now, gonna go remove those. Go to the weekly time frame. A doji candle off of the 50 EMA. Don't know how I really feel about that, to be quite honest. But I still do want to see gold retrace, go up to the upside. I've shown this multiple times. I'm going to show it again. From this high, from where price made this bearish push, the retracement, price came up to the 78.6, rejected off of it. It went up a little higher, rejected off of it. Man, that is a killer move right there. Hold on, I want to see something. So from here, if I were to sell it, stop loss would have been 712 pips, and price would have moved. Oh my lordy, 1,477. Anyways, yeah. So overall, gold came up to these for the retracement to the 78.6. They ended up dropping. What I'm currently looking for is for price to make this retracement back up into that sell box, but it'll be like at the 61.8 in the sell box at this point. And what was I doing? And I want to see 1869 get hit and then continue falling to make lower lows down to 1642. That's what I am looking for long term on gold, right? That's what I'm looking for long term. That's the play that I am watching for overall. It could take another couple of weeks because I've been talking about this same move for the past month, basically. So, gonna go ahead and remove the fibs. Go on to the 4-hour time frame. Oh wait, what I want to show? Possible evening star. Possible evening star right here. We have a doji candle. It looks more doji than just a random, like, the wick to the downside is longer than the wick to the upside. But still, this looks like a potential evening star. Price is holding at the 50 EMA on the daily. So, I mean, not holding. It's just slightly under it. 4-hour time frame, though, it is holding at the 50 EMA. And what I had wanted to see, and I'm pretty sure Peyton had mentioned the same. I'm more than sure that Peyton mentioned the same thing. We knew that there's this zone here, and that we were saying that, okay, this zone looks like something that a lot of retail traders would probably try to look to be buying, like 1814, 1815. And we wanted to see the retracement down to, well, I wanted to see the retracement down to 1813, 1810 before price going bullish, and it so has hit to 1810. That would have been a pretty decent entry point. But then also, you can say that price could still drop lower and hit 1808, 1806 before going bullish. But I am still overall looking to buy some gold back up to 1869, like I had mentioned. So even if it's from here inside this buy box, again, usually when I draw these buy and sell boxes, it's wherever inside that buy box or wherever inside that sell box is where I'll be looking to get an entry at. Obviously, the best entry for this would be at 1806, but price hasn't even gotten there yet. And if price doesn't get there, then, I mean, there you go, boom. Like, the price might just take off from right here, go to 1856. Like, it's like the extension is literally inside the sell box. So this looks like a pretty damn good move to me, in my honest opinion. So, to the upside. If I could get price to come back down to 1808 or 1806, that would be Fuego Diego. Drop that there. Add alerts. Just going to create the alert. Not going to write on it. Like I said, DXY and EURGBP, those are the analysis or the pairs that I take the longest to analyze. And I totally did not look at arbitrage on whatchamacallit, did I? Oh, the S&Ps. But 1 hour time frame, this played out nicely, but I know that, Carlo, you got this move where the price called for that sell, retraced up to the RSI line. I would have taken this sell right here. Ooh, that would have been perfect. Yes, sir. Daily time frame. I was getting worried because this candle was about to close above. So I was like, ooh, is gold going to keep going bearish and end up calling for a buy? I hope not. And the weekly time frame, it did end up closing calling for a buy. However, it is not confirmed until this momentum line crosses over, and I am still definitely not looking for a I'm not looking to try to sell gold. I mean, to buy gold. I actually want to sell it. I don't like how the arbitrage looks on the weekly, but I be getting scared because once these candles pop up, for them to like disappear, like look at it called for a sell, dropped hard. Called for a buy, was acting up a little bit, but ended up going pretty good in the buys. Same thing with the sells. When it popped up, did really good sells. Buy did astronomical sells. Played out pretty nicely. If this buy gets called, I'm gonna be questioning if it's really gonna go bearish or not. But overall, I am still very much bearish on gold. But I want to see it retrace. I don't want this 4-hour time frame to play out and call for a sell. I'd rather price just reject where it's at, maybe go a little lower like I mentioned, and then go bullish. Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, for gold, when the buys, that is kind of true. When the buys happen, they happen very fast, and then when the sells happen, they're choppy. That is true. But I mean, one thing about gold that we have to understand. Let me go to a different gold chart. Excellent. I don't know what chart this is, but remove drawings. If we look at the monthly time frame, these are prices like gold hit an all-time high at 2084. Wait, hold on. Let me go to the candle. The high was 2075. That's the highest gold has ever been at. And then look, ever since price made its highest move, it's only been coming back to this area and rejecting off of it. So that's why it's like a lot of people are still bullish on gold. I get it, but like you got to really think about it. Like this move happening and then price slowly coming down. Even if I wanted to get into a buy on gold, the best move to make would be wait for it to come back down to like 1423 or something like that. I'm not going to try to buy it over here long term. Because especially the way how it's been rejecting, like, I don't know if a lot of people see that, you know? And look at this, look at how the monthly closed too. It made that bullish candle, then a bearish engulfing candle right next to it. It looks like a tweezer tops. This thing looks like it's gonna fall to me. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not sure if I want to say that it's gonna buy off, even if the weekly arbitrage does call for a buy. I'm still gonna be questionable about it. So overall, guys, like I said, this is the play that I'm looking for. Price is already in my buy box area. Would want it to come down a little lower on Sunday/Monday and then start to buy it like on Tuesday or something like that. So that's for gold. Going over to Bitcoin. Wanted to see what that 1 hour looked like. Okay. So I had been talking about this Bitcoin buy possibility for a long time. I like how it's showing this consolidation here. I really need it to chill. I don't need Bitcoin going any lower than 29,000, or else officially the bull run is over. But hey, it's still very much showing that it is going to sell, or the sell possibility is there. So I'm watching what it's doing in this zone. I'm not going to talk much about Bitcoin because nothing's really changed. It's been a whole bunch of consolidation. I'm still watching this possible zone for a buy opportunity on Bitcoin. I still do want to see it. If I can see smaller time frames, like let's go on to, dang, I think it already happened actually. So like you see how this bullish move happened, then the retracement. Where do you think this retracement hit? Most likely the 78.6, and if you pay close attention, oh hold on, wrong one. Wrong place, wrong place. You can see, what the heck is wrong with me? Right there. It hasn't still came up all the way quite yet, except if you want to count that wick. But if you see that this is a potential head and shoulders pattern, that if all price needs to do now at this point is just take off. But if you take this fib from this low to this high, look where price came back into the 78.6 range. It literally hit 78.6 twice. Unfortunately, if Payton would have gone into that, it would have hit 1-to-1, and then it would have hit break even shortly right after. I would have been hurt. But then, yeah, price looks like it's just going to continue. It looks like price is going to continue going bullish, which is, again, a good opportunity, because I've been saying that 32,000 is a place where I'm looking to buy margin possibly, but I have not. Last trade that I took on crypto, it was on the demo account. So, but I like the way how things are looking. If this takes off, then this buy box play, I mean, the buy box play still exists because it's still been rejecting off of the 78.6 long term. Like if you look on the daily or something like that. Let me take a look at it. Hide, delete. Okay. Wait, what? Anyways, I'm a fool. There we go. But anyways, daily time frame. The bearish candle doesn't look that great. It doesn't look like a doji either. Weekly time frame candlestick doesn't look that great. And when I show arbitrage, y'all are going to be like, oh yeah, this bull run's over. But at this point, it'll just be me trying to fight it rather than anything. But just don't try to trade this margin, in my honest opinion, unless you know what you're really doing. Unless you're really nice like that. And you really know like what you're looking at on the lower time frames, yeah, you can play them. But personally, it's not for me. 1 hour time frame calling for a buy. I don't like how this looks personally, but I see the buy happening, especially with the price action that I saw on the lower time frames. 4 hour time frame, definitely nowhere near trying to buy quite yet. Daily time frame, still holding in this lower danger zone, so I'm happy about that. I like seeing that for sure. And on the weekly time frame, we have this bearish candle, magenta. We still have until tomorrow until it closes, so that's something that we'll be seeing. But again, it just doesn't look that great to me. So give me 1 second, guys. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, with Bitcoin, again, I am just really being watchful of what's going on with this weekly candle. I don't, again, and I'm just going to show it because I was showing Payton this as well. These purple candles, usually when they pop up, usually, not every time, but usually when they pop up, that means that price is going to eventually sell. So like, look, you see how the sell popped up over here and these magenta candles popped up? Even though price was rising, there were still magenta candles popping up, and then boom, price ended up falling. So that's, you don't see the magenta candles often. You see magenta candles, price rose a little bit, end up falling. You don't see the magentas quite often. So when you do, that is when I'm like, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. So that's with Bitcoin. Going over to Ripple. Ripple came down to my 57 cents. That wick that it left was enormous. And I'm glad I didn't try to end up taking a trade because I would have got wrecked. But yeah, my 71% fib got hit at 57. At 57,640, that got hit. So I'm just seeing what price is going to end up doing, if it's going to go bullish or not. Carlo, we will talk about that later. We will talk about that. We'll literally talk about it right after I get off of this in the next wave chat. I'll like talk. We'll talk about it. But yeah, off of this, like I like how this price action happened. The volume that appeared as well, it's higher than this previous volume over here, so that's a good sign for me. It is also higher than this previous volume when price was at these highs before price ended up dropping. So those are good signs. I like seeing those signs for Ripple. Dang, I don't even know what I would have. Yeah, I would have to see price really come back down. Like if price comes down again to like 56 cents or 57,640 or something like that, I might look for a buy again. But it's just I don't like the way how Bitcoin looks, and Bitcoin has the highest dominance against these other cryptocurrencies. That's the only thing that makes me not want to even try to margin trade these things right now. You know, it's just a whole lot of headache. And if I'm talking about like from this bearish move that just happened, the retracement, look where price is literally at. If I were to try to buy right now and price ends up falling, then I'll just look stupid. So that's why I'm just like, Peyton, we've already talked about this, about that 15 cents. I swear, bro, if that gets hit, I'm going to be hot. But anyways, I'm just being patient with this. I see the volume off of this huge candle, but then I see the volume off of this small candle over here as well. So that just makes me be like, okay, guys, let's just chill. Let's not try to get into anything with these cryptos. Let's wait for a big impulsive move that we can confidently start to say that yes, now we can get into trades. You guys have seen Peyton and I give very great analysis on the cryptos, give a lot of good insight on it. Just don't try to margin trade them unless you really know what you're doing. If you're really nice like that, then yes, absolutely try to margin trade them. But if you're not, paper trade them or just backtest off of them. That's probably the best thing that you can do. Oh wait, I didn't look at Ethereum Ripple on arbitrage. So RB, same thing, weekly time frame. Price has been under the RSI line. It looks like this is going to call a sell as well, but it's not going to call this week. It's probably going to be 2 more weeks if price ends up staying under here, like 2 to 3 more weeks. That's when Ripple will call for sells, and if it does end up dropping 50 in between 10 and 15 cents, that's where it'll drop down to. So yeah, a daily time frame, like I had mentioned, it was like I had mentioned on the analysis past couple of days. It's been so close to trying to call for a buy, but at this point, it doesn't look like it. I think I had these alerts still set, so if they do get triggered, I'll let everybody know on RB and next wave. But other than that, yeah, guys, these things are very bearish. 1 hour time frame might be calling for a buy, but I'm not going to try to buy this. And so yeah, I am chilling off of these cryptos. Ethereum, I had gone into Ethereum demo trade, took an L on it. That's why I took the demo trade. But if we're looking at this from a swing point of view, it is still at my entry to get a potential swing in. Like honestly, it is still at. I think I had gone it. I got into a trade on demo like down here or something like that I'm still in or something like that. It's just paper trading, you know. Well, yeah, 2,804 is still a possibility on Ethereum. So I am going to say this: if you have enough, if your broker's contract size is not high and you can trade this at a very small risk, like you know how I would say usually go and risk 1% of your account. If you can possibly trade this and take only a 0.5% of your account and swing it, take it. Because if stop loss gets hit, then that means that we're not in a bearish run anymore, and that's just what it has to be. But so yeah, if you are allowed to swing trade, or like let's say if you have in a prop firm and you're allowed to swing trade, or if your account size will let you on your live account or demo, I would probably suggest demo trading this, to be quite honest. But if you're allowed to take that 0.5% risk, or you can even take a 1% risk, whichever you want, and you can swing this because it's a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio, and that's a great risk reward ratio in my opinion. So that's for Ethereum. I gave y'all 2 trades. Y'all are up. I'm just playing. Ooh, Ethereum, I'm sorry. No disrespect meant. I did not mean to disrespect you. Alright, so 1 hour time frame. Over the RSI line, it's about to call for a buy. Yeah, that's Ethereum out of all the cryptos, it looks the best to buy in my opinion. Like, and that's probably the reason why Payton stays dollar cost averaging, because Ethereum does look the best to be dollar cost averaging. 4 hour time frame, I would love this to happen. It's the same break, retest, continuation type of stuff. Daily time frame has not called for a buy, and it's the same thing as the other cryptos. It was very close to calling for it, but it never did. I like seeing this level pro be bullish like that, though. I love seeing that. And the weekly time frame, as I mentioned, against all the other cryptocurrencies, it's the only one that's, well, not, I think it's not the only one, but it's one of the very few that is still above the RSI line. Although the weekly time frame doesn't look that great, it's still not life-threatening. That's why I said that if there was one of these cryptos that I would try to get into, it'd be Ethereum, honestly speaking. It'd be Ethereum. No offense to Ripple. Ripple's my first love for crypto and everything, but I would rather trade Ethereum than any of those cryptos at this point in time. And Litecoin, same thing. It came down to where I had my alert at 120, 120.72. This doesn't look bad either for a swing. I'm just not a huge fan of. Wait, why is this? I would rather have wanted this over here, and it hit regardless. 117.84. These look good for swings. These look good for swings. Even Ripple, like, as much as all the cryptocurrencies, they do look really great for swings. They all look good for swings. But if they end up hitting stop loss, that means that we're not going to be in the bearish market any longer. So I'm just going to give trade ideas for all of them, I guess, for on the analysis. That's for free. I'm not going to give it on to Next Wave. And, you know, if you want to take them, then by all means, just know that these are very, very risky moves at this point. But the risk reward on them is not terrible at all. Like I said, these are all in my buy box areas. All of them, every single one of them. They're all in my buy box areas. So they're great for swing opportunities. I would love for Bitcoin to come back up to 40,000 and then end up destroying it and go bullish. So just take that and do what thou will. Hold on. Yeah. Like, again, Litecoin, it's about to be under the RSI line on the weekly, but it's not there yet. And it's even showing a white candle, so that's even interesting to me. This is GU. I'm tripping. Never mind. It's been bearish. It's even rejected off of the mean line, which is even another reason why I want it to go to keep going bullish at this point. 4 hour time frame, not there yet. 1 hour time frame. Ooh, so close to buy. That's why I'm saying, man, like all of them, even Bitcoin on the 1 hour is calling for a buy. They do look good for that buy opportunity. They really do look good. So 1 hour time frame, that looks solid for me. But these cryptos are looking spicy for that buy. I'm gonna have to talk about this with Payton. I want to see what his deeper insight is, not just off of my analysis. I want to see what his charts are looking like later, and so we'll talk more about that in the next wave chat probably. GU. I wanted it to reject over here off of these zones. I didn't get that. That's cool. Didn't try to trade it. I haven't traded GU in a minute, actually, to be quite honest. Weekly time frame, I love seeing this bearish candle. and I had mentioned, and well, it's the same thing that I had drawn up actually, is that I was saying that this is a possibility for price to reject off of, but based off of the weekly engulfing candle, I was expecting much more sells rather than buys. So that's good to see on GU. It's still falling. It still has this zone though, that, or these lows, the support, if you will, that it needs to break through before going bearish. And for some reason, I could see this being a possibility where price is like, oh, let me come up, snatch, retrace, continuation, boom, keep going to the upside. I don't want to see that, by the way, because I am definitely more bearish than I am bullish on GU, especially after seeing this bearish engulfing candle. So at this point, if I wanted to trade GU, I would have to either A, wait for this price to get a retracement and then drop to the downside, or B, get the break of that, then a retracement from the bullish candle, wherever it pops up from, and then I'll continue selling it. So that's what I'm seeing on GU. I don't want to buy the GBPs. I want to sell them. Like, I'm really trying to sell them out here. Like, they can go burn, because look again, they've been extremely bullish for way too long. Ever since 2020, been bullish. I needed them to start retracing a little bit. Oops, hold on. Going over here. Yeah, bearish on the 1 hour. 4 hour, very much bearish. Daily time frame, very much bearish as well, with that bearish engulfing candle. And then weekly time frame, this is what I want. This is what I love to see. So now, again, so this is like basically hand in glove with, I want to see the break and retest, right? I want to see GU breakout, retest that RSI line, and then continue falling to the downside with RB. That would be solid for me to get into GU, because I don't think that price is going to come back up to like 1.400. I don't think so, or 1.400. I don't think price is going to get back up there. So at this point, I'll just be watching for the retracement on RB. So let's go over to GA. GA is a trip. So first of all, I'm going to remove all of this. And it is making higher highs. GA is really a trip, but I want to share that I'm not a believer yet. I'm really not a believer yet, because if I were to draw this support over here and even draw it out further to the left, we could see that this is a area where price has used multiple times to reject off of, and it's on a high time frame. It's on a weekly time frame, not even on those little small time frames either. So price could literally just reject off of here and then go bearish. Like, you know, like I said, I want to see these GBPs fall, right? Daily time frame, there was a bullish engulfing candle. I'm not going to try to sell this or anything like that, or buy it. I think I'm just going to be watching it and paying attention to it and seeing what it's going to do, because, man, I don't even know where I would have tried to get into a buy here. I wouldn't have. There would have been literally no place on the 4 hour or the daily where I'd have tried to get into a daily. Yeah, I would not have tried to get into it down here for sure. 4 hour, I would not have tried to. No, I don't trade off of support and resistance anymore like I used to. I'm really trying to, dang. Yeah, I would not have gone into any of these plays. I mean, probably this, if anything. If I was paying attention, like right there, that'd have probably been the only way I could have gotten in. I think I even talked about this. Not even sure. But yeah, I would have been continuation. That'd have been the only trade setup I would have seen, and it did kind of basically play out. It came to the 32%, or the negative 32%. But anyways, GA, definitely just gonna pay attention to it. To be quite honest with you, I'd actually want to see Payton's analysis on this. Like, it's kind of interesting what I'm thinking is gonna happen. I think that price actually did this. Let me go into the weekly time frame. I personally think that price just came up and came to grab these equal highs that have been here, and then price is gonna literally like start to turn around, retrace, and then fall. That's what I see on it. But again, I want to see what Peyton's analysis is on it before I make that concrete, because this looks like it's gonna keep going bullish as well. You know, it could just keep going bullish, but and I do see that this is a zone that price has came and used as a resistance, as a support, Now it's using it as a resistance here. Before this great fall, it used it as an area where it tried to go bullish, but it found resistance and dropped. So again, let's see how this plays out. I'm really interested to see price sell off right here, though, to be quite honest. Like, that's what I would really be like, oh, that's fire. GJ. Wait, I didn't look at GARB. Let me do that real quick. A weekly time frame has been bullish for how many weeks now? It's playing out nicely. Daily time frame, this is going bullish. It's holding at the 2 deviations at this point. But since they are all pointing up, I'm still waiting on it because that's not a good sign for me. 4-hour time frame rejected off of the 2nd deviation, but has not called for a sell quite yet. I need RB to call for that sell before I get in it. This is probably what I would look at more than any of those other time frames on GA. That 4-hour sell call. 1-hour time frame, ooh, called for the sell, rejected the RSI line, purple candle. Need to see how this market opens, because I might get on this Sunday market open. To be quite honest, that 1 hour, I might get on this Sunday market open type of thing. Depending on how it looks, I'll talk about it in the chat once market opens. But so yeah, that is for GA. Definitely feeling the vibe. Definitely feeling the vibe. GJ. Peyton, man, this is I was looking at this on last night, and I'm like, yo, this hurts, man. Price literally 71%. My alert didn't get set off, but man, that thing fell. And not even from this, just from off of this move right here that he had mentioned. Yeah, I think he had mentioned from this to the low. Yep, right here. It would have smacked. That's depressing. But anyways, daily time frame. Remove drawings. Gonna talk about the GBPUSD that I called on the trade review later tonight. But overall, GJ, I love seeing that it's bearish. Weekly time frame, I love seeing this bearish candles. I love it. I love it. Needed to keep falling. I don't think that this is going to last right here. This is not looking like something that is going to reject off of and go bullish again. It just looks like price is following this wick and then going to keep falling and making lower lows. But until price breaks through these lows right here, I can't say that I'm bearish on it. Officially, like on the weekly time frame, I can't say that I'm bearish on it. Daily time frame looks all good and juicy and everything, but same thing. I can't say that I'm bearish on this quite yet. Because again, like off of that one choppy move, when price was chopping down, then when bullish, yeah, I definitely can't see that. Let me see what we got over here. Break and retest that zone, that lower zone, then we go down. Exactly. You know what the vibes are. So that's what I'm looking at for GJ. But the possibility of price still holding here, it exists, but I'm not playing off of it. I'm just going to be observant on GJ, to be quite honest, for the next couple of weeks. And again, same thing for here, man. Although yes, I see that price was moving down slowly. Even from this buy, look where the retracements came down to and market closed. So that's why I'm not necessarily going to be looking for sells quite yet until these lows down here, until these lows right here get broken. I cannot try to sell this. Or I cannot be bearish on GJ. That's what I meant to say, sorry. So it's going over to RB. RB 1 hour called for the exit from the buy. See, called for the buy, retested. My stop loss would have been at break even. I think my stop loss was at break even. No, I didn't get into this. I'm tripping. And then price ended up falling. So that would have been a decent RB break even trade. Daily time frame bearish as well. I had talked about that for weeks prior though. And then weekly time frame, yeah. So even with on a weekly for RB, even though I said that this is what I need to for it to break for me to be bearish, it still needs to break this RSI line. Because if I see that price comes down and then holds right here, I'm gonna be like, oh no, price could eventually do this. Keep going to the upside. So I'm gonna be watching what GJ really does for the next couple of weeks. If I see any opportunities, I'll call them, of course, but that's that. Last but not least, let's take a look at EURGBP. So this was one of the trade ideas that I had called. Price had gone 60 pips into profit. That's really great. TP2 was closed, but I had mentioned, yo, if you wanted to get out the trade, you can. I got out like around over here at these equal highs. And that's because I had to make up for my Euro USD and UCHF loss. That's the reason why I took those profits. And it's okay for you to cover your losses with trades rather than let trades keep going. Because if you would have got stopped out, or if I would have got stopped out when price made this retracement, then I would have lost the trade, right? But like I said, this is last week's trade. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Weekly time frame. I'm liking that price did make this fake out to the downside, like as if it's like, oh, well, I'm still going to go bearish. Then it came back up. Love seeing that. The bullish move here. This bullish overall move still being held at this 78.6 on this swing. So EG is at a swing area, absolutely, don't get me wrong, but ask yourself, would you want to swing this? Look at how long it's been down here on the weekly time frame. It has just been consolidating down here for a long time. This is more of a position trade, not even a swing trade, but it is in an area where I want it to go bullish, so that's a good thing to see. Daily time frame, same thing. I remember I was trying to sell EG like right here when this move was happening. That's so funny. I remember that. And yeah, price came back down to this 78.6, rejected off of it nicely. Now it's at the 61.8%. I want to see this continue to go bullish, especially with the daily close like this. Although it was the closing candle that made the wick look like that, I still like the opportunity or the idea of EG going bullish, right? Now, however, I do see the possibility of price rejecting off of the 61.8 from this bull. I mean, from this high to this low, the retracement. I do see it possibly dropping. So that's what I'm going to be watching for in the beginning of the week. But I'm still, like I said, I want to see like those, like my original trade setup that I had called. I believe it was this. Retracement continuation. Yep, when it came back down here, push up. I really do want to see these highs of 0.86378 still get hit. That's what I want to see this week happen for sure. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll be like, dang. Off of RB, weekly time frame has been very bearish for a very long time. Daily time frame rejected off of the. It's just been riding and rejecting off of this RSI line. That's why I finally needed to close above it, because it's just been riding it for the longest. Yes, always important. Market is always there. Exactly. Exactly, my dude. You're getting it. Like, the market is always going to be here. Just wait for the better looking setups, and then you'll always be profitable. And you know, we have our trade reviews later on today. I'm going to be going over the trades that I had mentioned, that we had called, go over the wins and losses, any other trades that you want me to look at as well. You can send them in the chat. I'll talk to you more about that in the chat as well. But other than that, yeah, guys, I don't have anything else for these pairs. Do you have anything you want me to look at? Let me see what these crypto's doing because it's the weekend. Yeah. All right, well, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and get off. Thank you for checking this out, bro. I thank you for being here live. And for those who are watching the playback, thanks for watching.